This is Linda Lysakowski, and I'm happy to report that the second edition of my book, The Face of Jesus, is now available on Amazon. This book reflects a journey of transformation through the eyes of those who actually saw Jesus. In this newly expanded edition of The Face of Jesus, I invite you into a compelling journey, one shaped by those who looked into his eyes and who were never the same again. Of course, I wasn't present, but I share my ideas of what I think it must have been like for those who saw the face of Jesus up close and personal, from fishermen to Pharisees, to the woman at the well, to thieves on the cross, and even an angel and a demon. This book brings a historical Jesus to life through the deeply personal encounters of those who walked, wept, questioned, laughed, and believed in his presence. In these pages, you'll meet the joyful Jesus, the grieving Jesus, the angry Jesus, the compassionate, misunderstood, and the victorious Jesus. The second edition includes fresh new insights and new reflections and deeper questions to help you guide your own spiritual encounter. So, are you ready to look again at the face of Jesus and see more than you ever expected? At the end of this book, you'll find a study guide, which is useful for churches, book clubs, and others who want to study and discuss the encounters in the face of Jesus and more deeply understand their own personal encounters with Jesus. The book is more or less written in chronological order, but the study guide breaks down the chapters by category. Therefore, it does not follow the book chapter by chapter. It's meant to help readers put themselves in various roles when encountering Jesus. So, whether you're a male or a female, I ask you to put yourself in the position of the disciples and of the women who encountered Jesus. And whether you consider yourself rich and powerful, or one who is marginalized, or perhaps even both, I ask you to consider what those who saw the face of Jesus felt. So these questions in the study guide can be used for your personal reflection as well if you don't have a study group. And I will periodically be offering to lead Zoom study groups. So if you're interested, you can email me at linda@lindalysakowski.com. But I'd like to read from you perhaps the shortest chapter, chapter 12. And this one is about St. Andrew's personal encounter with Jesus. And it begins with a reading from Matthew 14:22 to 33. During the fourth watch of the night, he came toward them walking on the sea. When the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified. "It is a ghost," they said, and cried out in fear. At once, Jesus spoke to them. "Take courage, it is I. Do not be afraid." Peter said to him in reply, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." And Jesus said, "Come." In Andrew's words now, one simple word, "come." That was all it took for my brother Peter to leave reason behind and jump out of the boat into the deep sea. Did I fear for his life? A little. Did I think he'd come back and swim to the boat? I knew his stubbornness well. He would never do that. All the years we shared together, growing up, becoming men, working with our father in the fishing business, Peter was always the outspoken one, the leader, the smart one, the stubborn one, too. I was proud that it was I who introduced Peter to the man who now told him, "Come." And it was I who first saw Jesus walking by the Sea of Galilee and listened to his words. I knew right away it was He was not a fisherman. His hands were not calloused from the nets and the ropes, and his face was not wrinkled from hours in the sun. I learned later that he was a carpenter, also a man who worked with his hands like us. But I sensed from the very first glimpse that carpentry was not his gift, but rather the trade he entered out of respect for his earthly father. However, I saw the strong gentleness of his mother when I got to know her later in him as well. And in a way, he said, "Come to me," without ever speaking a word. The other men were frantic when they saw Peter leap from the boat. Has he lost his mind? He was flesh and blood. He couldn't walk on water, as this apparition appeared to be doing. Peter was either drunk from exhaustion, or perhaps the hot sun had gotten to him, as they had seen happen to many other fishermen. The fever got them at night often, and maybe it had finally gotten to Peter too. They searched around for a rope to throw him to save his life. They all liked Peter, and they needed him to captain the boat. Andrew was a fine fisherman and a good man, but he was not as strong as his brother. Their first thought was about saving Peter, not so much about what to think of this apparition that appeared before them. They would deal with that ghost afterwards. It was saving the life of the living that occurred to them first. Slowly, as Jesus lifted out his hand to rescue Peter, the men realized that this was no ghost. This really was Jesus, and that they needed no rope or nets to scoop Peter out of the sea like a giant fish. With Jesus' support, Peter was now standing on the water and embracing Jesus. His weak faith had been restored, at least for the moment. And now back to Andrew's voice. I was not surprised that my brother was now safe in the arms of the rabbi. I was happy for him, and I was glad that I had introduced him and the other fishermen to Jesus. I began to realize the impact of that one simple word, come. Later, Andrew would understand the impact of this word. Come, I will make you fishers of all humanity. Come, follow me to Jerusalem, where you will rejoice and weep. Come, feed my sheep. Come, care for your brothers and sisters, all your brothers and sisters, the lepers, the tax collectors, the slow of mind, the prostitutes, the Romans, the Sanhedrin, Caesar, Pilate, those who share different values, those who love in ways you don't understand. Come, welcome the alien in your land. Come, care for the sick. Come, treat the homeless with respect. Come, love all. Come with me to pray in Gethsemane. Come, stay awake with me. Come, help me down from the cross. Come, give me your life. For now, Andrew was content that he and the others saw on the water that day the face of Jesus. So I hope you enjoyed that brief chapter. There's about 20 some other chapters about different encounters with Jesus. And I hope through this book maybe you will be able to encounter Jesus on your own. So look for the book on Amazon and let me know if you're interested in doing a Zoom study group. Bye for now.